with this whole Kashmir crisis and other crises that we've had in the past, why is it that Muslim governments can't stand up for other Muslims across the world and prevent the oppression from going on? You're probably sitting there wondering, why is it every time all these Muslim countries, oh my God, they're just sitting there, they're not doing anything. In fact, some of them are even encouraging oppression across the world. Why? Well, you've got to understand that all these Muslim countries were not founded upon Islam. Islam, for a lot of them, is a tick box. Okay, they were founded upon money. They were founded upon secular reasons. They were founded upon being in power for all sorts of reasons, but not for Islam. Even countries like Pakistan that might have a constitution of Islam, founded upon a constitution that's supposed to be in favor of Islam, even they don't follow Islam from a governmental level. Bangladesh, for example, has removed Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim from its constitution that has been there from day number one. Why? Because most of these people who end up there in the government, they're there for other reasons. Islam is there just for a corner of a room. It's there just to be respected for a little while. Let them people get on bowing in masjids, bowing down in masjids, but let not the rules of Islam be implemented in from a governmental level, because once it does, Islam tells us not to be corrupt, not to accept bribes, not to have personal gains, not to have greed, and so on and so forth. Okay, these people, if you want to really understand what's going on in world politics, there's two levels of politics. I want you to understand this. If you want to know furthermore, then read or even watch. Just go to YouTube and put in there John Perkins, Perkins, and you will see a number of his videos where he talks about how how the governments are being bullied into certain transactions, certain things that they have to do. Stronger governments are always trying to bully and make trade with weaker governments, even the ones that we know have got a lot of money in the Arab lands. You've got to understand that there's a lot of trade going around along with all these other countries, and that matters for them more than what's happening on the ground level. So when you have like oppression on the ground level, when you have people losing their lives, the homes are being taken away, the women are being raped and so on, for these people who are in power, what matters more is the monies they're going to make, the monies their cabinets are going to make, the monies their personal family is going to get, the protection they're going to get, the power and glory they have, the amount of years they will stay in power. Look at most of these Arab leaders. That's what's happened. Like, there will be no intervention with any of these countries in the West, or NATO countries, or people who are out there, governments who are out there who can do something about it. They're not going to do it, because the two levels we're talking about, the top level, which is their secret level where they've got trades going on. We're talking about crude oil. We're talking about minerals under the earth. We're talking about gas pipes going from country to country. We're talking about several hundred millions of dollars or maybe billions of dollars of trade between some countries that we don't probably even know about, or we'd find out too late in the game or in the story. Those are more important. So sometimes you'll find one country even condemning another country, but they're not going to do anything about it. They're not going to put any boots on the ground. Why? Because on the surface level, our politics, which we see on the Reuters and what we get through the news and so on, that's the bottom level of politics, which we're involved in every single day. The top level of secret politics, which we get to know sometimes when cables are leaked and so on, this is where most of the dealings are going on. And for those reasons, they will not upset another country. So when another country is, doing something, let's say, for example, the Kashmir Crisis, what's happening there? See, a lot of these countries have got deals that they've made, fresh deals they've made, let's say, with India. And they don't want to upset those deals. So the moment they say we're going to get serious about the Kashmiri crisis, what's going to happen is India will cancel the agreements that they've got. Same as what happened with Khashoggi. If you remember what happened to Khashoggi and the in the Turkish consulate, why did no one do anything about it? Why? Because all these countries, including Britain, have got their arms deals and so on that they're selling to Saudi Arabia. They're getting oil deals and so on, and no one wants to upset that. I mean, Trump said it very clearly. We're getting a lot of money from Saudi Arabia. This country is selling a lot of arms to Saudi Arabia, which is being used against Yemen. Everyone knows about it, but that's top level. You understand? That's top level. And for those reasons, even though Saudi Arabia, according to Britain, is not a country which is, which is following democracy, which is X, Y, Z, whatever, not up to the standards that they would love it to be, the government will do jack about it because of the deals that they've got. So now let's look at the Kashmir crisis. If you're wondering why none of these governments are doing it, they're not there for Islamic reasons, all right? They're not founded upon Islamic reasons. Even if they are, they don't care about it. They don't care about Muslims. They care about themselves. They care about their future. They care about their homes. They're going to make offshore accounts. The homes they're going to make for other family members. Their whole entire future, their family's future. That's a top level priority for them. Then the people that matter to them, who are in their cabinets, the governments, the family members, others, they're giving them jobs. They're giving them monies. This huge. When we say money, there's no end to greed. So, for me and you, $1 million, $2 million would be a lot of money. But for these people, 2 million, 1 million is like my 2p coin or 2 cents in my pocket. So they want the hundreds of millions. And once they get the hundreds of millions, they want to go into the billions. There's no end to greed. So these countries, most of these people in these countries, I'm not naming them, but they're there for their own game. They're there for their own purpose. They want to stay in power as long as they can. And in the midst of that, when there's crisis going on in other countries with Muslims, their iman is not there that they can care for their Muslim brothers. Their iman is very, very, very shallow or low, or next to nothing, if you like, for some of these people. Some of them, their iman is there, but they just don't want to do anything because of the other deals that they've made. And if you watch, you can get a book, The Economic Hitman and so on, or Confessions of an Economic Hitman by John Perkins, or watch his videos on YouTube. You'll find the two levels I'm talking about. How there's corporations in the world that will they subdue governments. So there'll be a corporation, for example, going to a country and they'll say, you've got to make this deal with us. If you do, here's $200,000 to start off with. Here's helicopters. We'll give you personal guards. We'll give you trained members of our staff that are going to protect you, protect your family. We're going to give you X amount of money and offshore, whatever. We're going to give you houses. We're going to give you whatever, girls and women and whatever. Okay. If you don't do this deal, then we want to remind you that so-and-so has died like this, so-and-so that died like that. There's threats. There's actual threats being carried out. And a lot of these governments, if they play ball once, they've got to carry on playing ball, and they stay playing ball because they're getting their personal benefits. They're giving benefits to these corporations. And in the midst of all of that, what people are going through, they don't care. Now, you're going to say to me, well, what is it that we can do right now? Well, right now, I'll be very honest with you. As the Prophet ﷺ said, in one of his statements, there'll be a time when, near the end of times, that even the most forbearant or the most tolerant of all individuals, even he will be perplexed and bewildered with what's going on. And this is the time. Honestly, you got to understand, if you cannot actually do something and see right through to the end of a change that you really want and you desire, then you sit where you are, or you follow the means of what you can. After this video, I don't want people saying, "Oh, you're telling us not to do anything." No, I'm not saying not to do anything. You do what you can within your own means. Okay, within your own means, that is justifiable in the world today. You do that others will accept, whatever you can do. But beyond that, where you can't do something, don't sit there and start to just wonder why no one's coming to the rescue for all of these, Muslims across the world. We've got a massive crisis, I understand, with the Muslim Ummah, but it's better that we all keep our houses fixed up now than to, try and get something done which might not lead to anything at all. What comes to mind is the late Arab Spring that we had about 5-6 years ago. I mean, look at the turmoil that came from that. Ordinary people coming out, wanting to have a change in these sort of dictator countries. And they started one by one. But you just study what happened in the Arab countries and the Arab Spring that took place and the aftermath of that. We're still in shock of what happened. Other groups emerged, they took over, interventions came from outside. There's so much that can happen when people go for an absolute revolution. So right now is, I'm talking to the ordinary people here. Ordinary people, just do whatever is within your means, which the world will accept for you to do in terms of trying to make some change out there. Apart from that, you just gotta get your head right, understand that there's two levels being played, out there. And once you understand this, you just got to get on with your own life and do your best to help those people with whichever way you can. Yes, help those people, but within the means that is acceptable. And I'm asking you to just, for this one video, just to understand that I'm only answering one question, which is, a lot of people ask, why are Muslim countries not doing anything? Why is no one doing anything? And people are left frustrated, not understanding why. So I'm just giving you the reason why. I haven't got a solution to the entire problem. I haven't got that, so don't ask me for that. If you're gonna say to me, well, why you as a sheikh and so on, why can't you do something? Look, we're all making awareness of the crisis. We're all talking about it, but everyone is limited to how much they can do. Whatever I can do within my means, I'm doing. I'm asking you to do whatever is within your means, and let's all make dua together. May Allah make it a more peaceful situation and bring real solutions to all these Muslims out there in crisis. Ameen. Jazakumullah khair. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.